Hello everybody, we are going to have a nice chat and a great conversation with these three artists. Yes, Heikki, did I say correctly?
Yes.
Okay, Emma and Atti, but I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Okay, should I talk there or
Yes,
talk to you?
yeah, please.
My name is Heikki, Tolin. I'm a circus artist, mostly doing object manipulation and juggling. And then now I'm also puppet theater maker, or how to say, but still studying puppet theater. And I'm combining circus and puppet theater and music and
Wow,
things in performances.
excellent.
I'm Emma Golnick. I'm a puppeteer, puppet maker and singer and violinist. I work with different groups. My main project would be the Sailing Boat Theatre, and right now I'm also studying pedagogy.
Yes, and I'm Atti Saarva, and well, I have done puppetry since I was 15 because my mother was studying in Turku Arts Academy puppetry, and she get very keen to hand theater, and she teaches us, and we children get very keen to do it, and we decided to make some show. And before I started in Turku Arts Academy, we had 6 shows and we were touring. And yeah, then I studied 4 years in Turku Arts Academy, and so now I have also diploma of puppetry, and yeah, I still do puppetry. And at the moment we are here. This place is
The headquarters.
headquarters of Aura of Puppets, and Aura of Puppets is very big umbrella organization of 52 freelance puppeteer in Finland. Most of them live here in Turku, and yes, and this place is free for all of us, all our artists who are membership in this organization. It's free to come here and have a chat or conversation, and there is also a rehearsal room where for very cheap rent you can rehearse your shows, and there is a couple of working rooms. You can also rent them for very cheap price, and there is common material store and technique store. So this our organization Hour of Puppets is only 4 or 5 years old.
Do you come from a family of puppeteers, or any of you come from a family of puppeteers, like a traditional? No?
No.
Because I know you share the same university, you have studied and you are still studying there. So what's your opinion towards the training you have received or you are receiving as professional training? How many years has it been applying into university, like official and public training for professional artists?
Yes, it's definitely a big part of the professionalism that we have here, especially in Turku, and also elsewhere, like in Helsinki, and our theatre works mainly in Eastern Finland actually. It's, yes, as I said, definitely a big part of what we consider puppetry nowadays, and also it's trying to, I think, widen what's the concept of puppetry in Finland in general.
Now this Turku Arts Academy is much more based on contemporary puppetry.
It used to be, it's finishing now.
Now it's 4 years, this education, but for my puppet theater studies and all the common studies and everything was condensed into 2 years. And I've been working, doing shows and making projects and writing reports and making study points like this for now 1.5 years with no teaching almost, because no money, no teaching, no teachers. But then in these 2 years, really good teachers and really nice the teaching that was was really good, but now it's ended. So.
It's also money, but I think it's also that like many Finnish university education, there is a lot of internships, like practical training, and I think it's something what the Finnish government have said that is how it should be, and also our education have include internships where you can decide which group you go to work and so.
Yeah, this and also the possibility to go exchange.
Yes,
an exchange for 1 year even. You can go to wherever, I don't know, where there are puppeteer schools and they have this cooperative.
Yeah, in our puppets we have 52 freelancers, and that's the most common story of people who have graduated from Turku Arts Academy. In Finland it's much more common to go from project to other project instead of being part of a group. Like I noticed that in Europe, at least in France, you are part of the group a couple of years and then you maybe change it if you are freelancer, but in Finland you mostly are looking for next project to be involved or create new projects, and then we have a lot of big grant organizations, so many freelancers apply for grants, but of course there is a lot of artists that it basically means that only from 10 to 4% of people who apply will get grant.
Maybe you can add something about like comparing like in the puppetry or the circus field. Is it easier in any of them or?
Really different. The audiences are really different. In Finland compared to you go to Germany or then Southern, then people are more like open to show their expression, open to whatever, laugh or comment or whatever.
This I've also faced when I've been performing, like people are cheering and participating to it more. Somehow in Finland people would feel like it's more like when you would go to cinema, like you laugh if it's really funny, it's, you know, but
if
you wouldn't.
Can't help it.
If you can't help it, yes.
Exactly.
sorry, emotion.
But also now with the Puppeteer, or it was a circus tour to Romania. What's the name of the project we did? Not also this summer, but last summer. And then there was circus and music and acting and whatever. And it was in the rural areas, in these gypsy villages and places where people haven't even seen a book or there is nothing. It's really poor areas in this. Also the rich places and Hungarian places and Romanian places, but now this summer I went with the glove puppet number, or act. It was in the show with like this Pulcinella style, this kind of thing. And this was really interesting to show in this, for this dirty, smelly, bad smelling children living in the field without anything or nobody taking care of them, and then we set up a show in the field or in a gypsy village or somewhere, and this is something that I haven't experienced, especially not in Finland, because everything here is clean. Everybody is feeling good and healthy, and but then it was really good experience in how the kids responded to the arts. They have never seen performing arts, and then there was music, circus, dance, puppet theater. I don't know. It was with 11 artists and combined with everything and with the storyline inside. And
how would they react? Did they understand the somehow concept of we are watching them now?
Yeah. They and also the older people and everything, because they had never seen. It was like they were looking at some spells or magic or something. They were just not reacting as not cheering or laughing, just staring, and some old ladies were really scared about
it. Interesting.
Because they had never seen, so it was really strange atmosphere in these places, and because they are living in a you could say a countryside ghetto. I don't know how to name the place, but then they are not allowed to go cross the border, and it's a small place. And a lot of these places, because where people have more money, they don't want the gypsies there. They throw stones or go away where you belong, and then they are in their own poverty, and nobody goes there. The locals don't go. There are artists living like 100 meters away, but nobody has ever entered the. And this was nice too, and we try to combine that.
So what do you think about the value of as well of puppetry and circus in education? If it would be like a valuable source or valuable.
Yes, definitely it is, and you can use it in so many different ways. And this I don't know where to start, but also this I remember this clown Banana, named from South Africa. She used to work with this she called it sock puppets, but this hand puppet, and with these small children that has been sexually abused. Is this the word? Because they are not allowed to, or they are not, they can't say things to people. But with this puppet, they are starting to communicate, and then they can tell that where in their body they have been touched. Or
like my mother is working with people with disabilities, and I have. Like many years I have heard different stories how about people who have some disability who are not so good with talking people or contact people. They somehow with puppet they just all these disabilities disappears and they just talk through puppets. There is really something with puppets that you lose your self-control, some ego.
Fear, maybe that voice, I usually say like that voice, it's coming out throughout the puppet, while it wouldn't come out otherwise from the shyest kid or fearsome.
It have also helped so that when a child or somebody get the puppet to express, they will be much more free to express themselves when they have puppet.
Do you think is there any relationship between the language of puppetry and the language learning?
Well, puppets don't have language. They don't have a language that, or their cultural identity isn't that much present. Or
like puppet can express so much without words.
Yes, and usually do.
Learning a language is mostly about opening your mouth and being brave to talk.
Yes.
You cannot learn a language without talking. So if you are more freer with the puppets, as you say, less fear of the how you, in a way, you put it somewhere else. So it's easier maybe to talk. So it might be one.
Might be.
Like in English, there is a term to call that. It's like you have probably heard about it. Suspension of disbelief. It's like willingness to believe the unbelievable. No. So I think that would be one of the main characteristics that a show must have. Like when the audience, the spectator, it doesn't matter the age, they would forget about the puppeteer, even though they know that the puppeteer is present in that time. But they want to believe. So I usually compare it with the child wanting to play, wanting to believe. Doesn't matter how old you are, you can be like 80, but you want to believe that this is real, no? That this is happening. So like, what would be your opinion? You will have to point out like 1 or 2 or 3 main things that a puppet show need to have to be believable and to be to have this kind of suspension.
Well, I would think the most important is that puppet have some sort of head and focus of.
This is one really important.
Yes,
we want to see that
Yeah.
living creature, because there is no life without emotions.
W, T and F. So that would be will, thought and feeling what the puppetry
Okay. The handspring puppet company, like they say, like an actor will struggle to die on a stage to make it like the big scene, and a puppet would struggle to be alive on the stage.
Yeah.
You know, so I think this is a very interesting point in this particular art form.
I think somehow coming back to the previous conversation about, you know, when you choose what kind of puppets you use and why puppetry in general, then you'll have to choose what kind of a puppet manipulator you choose, because it's an important part of the story, that if it's hidden or if the puppeteer is hidden or not. Is it like magical, somehow black theater, or is the puppeteer present? What is the role of the puppeteer in general? I've had a couple of situations where it's been somehow interestingly questioned. One show for children, and one kid would say aloud during the show, ask her mother that, "Mother, I understand that the mice are there, but why are the two adults there? I don't know why the adults are there. The mice I see, yes, but why are the adults there?" Absolutely, I think when you make an object or a puppet alive, you give some part of yourself to it. It's unavoidable. When you see the shows, like in the theater I used to work, they have some shows that they perform from year to another, and when some actors quit, the others take over the same shows, and it's totally different when you look at one person doing, even though it's exactly the same show, and they try to make it as original as possible, but it's impossible to make it. Of course
you can have the same story, but it's the same with every probably performing art, even maybe music. If somebody plays Chopin, it sounds
and then
different
again,
than
the performance can be totally different with different audience, you know.
So there we have the communication process as well. That's the audience, I think, in a way, are going. The audience is going to make a show as well. It will be different because we do this art form for others. It's not something you can do at your home. You need an audience.
Yes. And this also, this communication. It's sometimes you can practice in the practice room alone, but then when there is audience, then there might be some things that the puppet starts doing because of the audience.
Yes.
This is really nice.
That's it.
Thing that might happen sometimes.
Yes.
I didn't expect
you might
that.
rehearse your choreography to the very end, but you can't repeat. You can repeat the movements, but you'll have to react to the audience. Don't you?
What do you think is the puppetry's role in our digital world nowadays?
Well, the thing is that like all performing arts is that it's happening in a time and in a place, a space. So like all the digital stuff you can find anywhere, anytime. But that makes the puppetry and performing arts very special. That it's only your experience. Even though you want to share it by talking, but you really can't share your own experience of. And it's also special because you have to focus on that time. You can pause it where that. But there was this one technique who said that for me the most beautiful thing about performing arts is that it dies. Like you can't catch it later.
Yes,
This is really nice. Also, I've been working in circuses and circus tents, and when the audience is kind, even in theater spaces, when the audience is kind, you take everything down, and then when the circus tent leaves, there is the grass that is yellow and the holes from the big nails, and then you stand in the same space where there was this magic, and now there is only yellow grass and no people, no festival, no party, no show, nothing, just some birds singing and the sun going, and this is really nice. It's because it's in the moment and then it's gone.
That's
this
it.
is beautiful.
But it cannot
like
be
life.
substituted by any any kind of digital device, or because it's something that is, how do you say, like ephemeral, like it's not going to be permanent.
Yeah, and it's,
It's
as
the
you
present.
talked about the communication with the audience. It's the
Yes.
present moment with the people,
Yes.
sharing
Yes.
the information or the...
So excellent, thank you so much.
Thank you. So this is also a common kitchen, bathroom and place to be and have conversation and stuff. Like this is free to all our members also. And then there is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like työtila.
Working space.
Working space, and you can pay rent, very small rent. Like for example, I'm here, I'm in this room. Yes. We share this room I share it with 5 other puppeteers, and I pay only 20 euros per month. Okay, so this is common storage. Like here you can find, if you have a lot of materials what you don't anymore use, you can bring it here. Like we have everything odd or fabric or just basic materials, and it's free to use.